Welcome to Rockefeller's Barbershop. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will be blessed and be glad in Him. Today I want to introduce myself. My name is Rico Rodriguez at Rockefeller's Barbershop here in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Road. My phone number is 210-782-5188. Come out and get your haircut here at Rockefeller's Barbershop. You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio.
You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast with your host, Shemaya Reed. This podcast is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. Now, let's tune into today's podcast.
Hey guys, this is I Am Refocused podcast, and today we are back at it again. I want to give a quick shout out to our official partner, Mr. Rico Rodriguez, the owner of Rockefeller's Barbershop, the hottest barbershop in San Antonio, Texas. So if you fly in San Antonio or you already here in the city of San Antonio, make sure you stop by and show some love. And before we get to our special guest today, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, River City Donuts with Miss Kim and Baby McClinton with Allsp.net. Without further ado, I want to give a big thank you for the most busiest woman I know in Live Oak City. And this is Miss Mary Dennis. How you doing, Miss Mary?
That's fine. Most people, I say I may be the honorable something, but my mother says my name is Little Mary, so that's fine. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a pleasure it is to be here.
Good morning.
So tell us the background story of your life.
Oh, okay. I don't think my life is all that interesting, but I was born in Mississippi. As a young girl, my father was in the military. We traveled around the world, and he got orders to come to San Antonio, Texas. And I remember my dad coming to my room saying, "We're going to Texas." And I just busted out crying. It's like, "Daddy, no. They got cowboys and Indians there. We can't go." And he says, "No, baby, they don't have the cowboys and Indians anymore." Well, anyway, that was in 1971 that we arrived in San Antonio. I graduated from Sam Houston High School, go Cherokees. And later, my husband and I moved to Live Oak, Texas, and that's been since 1994. And just a little bit about me, Mary, is I love cooking, as I know my friend here, Deborah, does. Yes. Love being in the kitchen. When I got home from the march on Monday, I got in and went in and made a big pot of gumbo, and it's pretty good. I had some people over, and it was a lot of fun. So I love cooking, love spending time with my three beautiful grandkids, and my daughter Christina, or Chris as she's known. And so big family person. Got my mom, two brothers here in town, and two sisters in Mississippi. So we're a big family. We get together with my mom's family once a year. It's about 75 or 100 of us, and we just hang out, fry fish, and have a good time in Mississippi. But anyway, you're invited. You're invited.
Food never has to stop by yet.
But anyway, just great to be here. Thank you all so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get interested to run for mayor?
Oh, good question.
I know the first time was 2010. When you
right,
won.
Exactly. I've been mayor since 2010, but before that, I did 2.5 years on the city council. What happened was, when I moved to my house, it was a gravel road, and I really liked the gravel road because it reminded me of Mississippi, of my grandma's house. And but my neighbor came over, and he says, "Mary, as soon as you get unpacked, we're going down to City Hall to see about getting our road paved." Well, I didn't have the nerve to tell him that I didn't want to do that, but I just went hopping right behind him and went down City Hall. And while I was there, we did get the street paved too, by the way. Everyone always asks me that. We did get the street paved. Someone asked me, "Well, would you be interested in serving on the one of our boards, which was the Planning and Zoning Board?" And I did that for a number of years, learned a lot about how the city works and operates. And I tell people, if you're interested in you know, or maybe think that you're interested in city government, that's a great place to begin. Well, anyway, from there I went on. Someone says, well, we got an opening on the council. Would you like to run? And I said, well, I've never run for a public office, but I'll give it a try. And I ran for office, and I lost by 25 votes that first time.
Wow.
So anyway, I thought it was pretty good. I went home, and about maybe 9 months later, one of the council persons had to go overseas, and the council appointed me to finish off his unexpired term. So I did that, and then there's just 2-year terms. So after that was over, they said, well, would you run again? And I said, well, I guess. So I got out, knocked on doors, and the end of the night, they came in and they said, Mary, you've lost by 2.
Oh.
And so I didn't think it was so bad. My mother was upset. She's like, we're having a recount. I was like, no, Mom, it's really not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
But about maybe about a month later, one of the council persons resigned, and I was appointed to finish the rest of that term. Did that. Now, I've done 2 terms on the council. Really, I said, okay, this is enough. And my daughter, Christina, calls me, and she says, Mom, I think you should be the mayor of Live Oak. I said, Christina, I think you're crazy. Long story short, I did run, and my team runs in after the polls have closed, and they said, Mary, you're not going to believe this. And I'm ready. I'm just, what is it? What is it? They said it is a tie.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
Had been 3 of us in the race, and there was a tie with the 2 of us. And anyway, we had to have a runoff. My opponent said, well, this is Texas, and we can legally flip a coin and decide. And I said, well, sir, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Mississippi. We're going to have a runoff.
Yes.
And so we did, and I was successful. And that was my first term as mayor in 2010, as you said earlier. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm on my 4th term, year 8, and not had an opponent the last 2 years, so it's been good. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got to where I am today as the mayor of the city of Live Oak.
What's one of your favorite things that you like being mayor, as far as interacting with the people in the community?
And that's just it. I love the people. I know it may sound kind of cliche-ish, but I really do. I love the people, and I really try to make myself available and try to get out and be at all of our events representing our city. But I actually do. I've always known since I was 9 years old that my life was going to be about service to others, and my path has always taken me, down that way. Either if it's been, I worked at a high school for about 9 years, so I was servicing kids there. And by trade, I'm a licensed mortician, and a lot of people don't know that, but I am a licensed mortician. I say that's my night job. And in that respect, I'm serving families. So my life has always been about service to others, and something that I feel blessed to do.
What's some of the recent events that you've been part of this year, and some coming up events that you can share with us?
Well, we've got as my city manager says, that it's a great time to be in Live Oak, and I'm just happy to be a part of the team right now. We've got a lot of good things going on there. As you may or may not know, we do have the Live Oak IKEA coming to Live Oak, Texas, and we will be their 5th store in Texas, the most southern store in the state. So we're very excited about that, and that will be located on 1604 and Lookout Road, right near where presently the Randolph Brooks Credit Union is there. They've got 2 administrative buildings there, and actually almost complete with their 3rd building. And in that new building, they will bring 400 new jobs to that building. So we're very excited to have Randolph Brooks there in our city with their administrative offices. And IKEA has purchased 31 of the 112 acres there right there at that site. And so they will be, they've already begun construction, 290,000 square feet of retail that IKEA will have there, with 1,000 parking spaces, a restaurant that will seat 325. They're famous for their meatballs. Yes, they're welcome to meet for lunch there.
Yes, we will.
And so we're very excited about that, and that will bring a couple hundred jobs to that site. So the other 88 acres, we're still working on that, but there are going to be some really great developments in there, some good retail shopping and restaurants. So we're very excited about what we are calling the Live Oak Town Center. So keep your ears open for that. We're hoping for a March 19 opening for the IKEA store.
And I'm sure there's a lot of businesses that are now very interested in Live Oak. What's some of the business on top of your head that you guys have been successfully attracted to Live Oak City?
Well, I tell you, we do, and you're absolutely right. Now people are reaching out to us, and we're very excited about that. We started back on Pat Booker Road, where the old Civic Center used to be. A lot of people used to go there for gun shows and snake shows and comic shows, and it was a very popular site. Well, we redeveloped that property, and now it's the Live Oak Conference Center there, along with the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel, which we're very, very proud of. And from there spun the Starbucks, the Burger King, the McAllisters. There's a Nietzsche's. There's a 54th Street Bar and Grill there. And then across the street is a 30,000 square foot indoor soccer facility called Soccer Zone. They do a lot of events with kids, a really great place. And around there, they've got the Urban Bricks Pizza. We've got the Subway. We've got our first urgent care center there. And so Taco Bell's there. And so it's that whole area has totally redeveloped. And we recently able to announce the Kobe Japanese Steakhouse there on Pat Booker Road, too, right across from the Live Oak Regal Cinema right there. So we're very excited about that coming soon.
So basically, Live Oak is a hot spot right now.
Yes, it's alive and well.
Yes.
And pun certainly intended. Yes, we are very blessed. Got a great city council to work with. Wonderful staff. Our city manager, Scott Wayman, he and Jordan Matney as his assistant do an amazing job leading the day-to-day operations for our city, and wonderful citizens, lots of great volunteers, and all of that together helps make Live Oak a great place to live, work, and shop.
And there's another piece of Live Oak that's pretty popular, and that's the park. And there's some events that happen. I know we can hear sometimes. We have some. Is it a music festival that's like once a year?
No, actually, in the park is somewhat of a, still I think it's a well-kept secret, because there's a really nice lake there, too. We do a big fishing day there for the kids. I think that's in April or May or maybe June. I'm not sure. But we do have a fishing day there for the kids. We do an Easter egg hunt there. We do our Christmas in the park. Well, this past year we're rained out, but normally it's there. So we really do a lot of things in our park. We're very big on our park. I'm really big for having families outdoors. I feel like if they're outdoors, the kids are running around, the parents are happy. Those things are good for the health of your city. So I'm really a big. And we also have our street dance, the Shindig on Shin Oak, where we shut down City Hall area and have a big dance. This last couple years we've had the Spasmatics there for a free concert. Over 7,000 people shown up, and it's a real big deal for us, and we really love that. And so we're a very busy city.
And that's another great way for people to come together and get to know your neighbors as well.
Exactly.
How are the meetings every day? Because I know it's like, what's next?
I know.
Who did we bring in this time? So how are those meetings? Like, what's some of the roles that a mayor needs to do for their city?
Well, I really feel like I have several responsibilities. Certainly my responsibility as the chair of the council is to make sure we've got a good cohesive, group working together, because those are kind of things that businesses look at when they think about coming to your city. They want to come to a place where people are getting along, where they're working together. And so that's very important to me also. Always being accessible to the residents, because I say my boss are the residents of the city of Live Oak. I work for them. So, being out there, talking to them, hearing what their ideas are, their challenges. So that's why I try to make myself available to be able to, always be in constant contact with the residents.
I'm sure people are seeing the results because, like you're saying, live is really live right now.
It really is. It's the perfect name.
And the atmosphere is very high right now as far as just the buzz, if I can put that out there like that. How does it feel, though, to see all these businesses just thrive too? Because it's not like they're coming, they're struggling.
Right, exactly. And we do things. I always I sit on our economic development board as the vice chair, and one of the things that we have been doing the last couple of years is that we certainly are thankful and excited about the new businesses that we have, but we also try to support the businesses that have been there, that have kind of brought us through, and we don't want to forget them. So we have what's called a VIP program where the businesses can reach out out to us, put in an application to receive funding to help with their facade, to landscaping in their area, so that everybody does well, because we need everyone to do well. And I'm really big on it's your success is my success. Yes. So I want all of our businesses. Those have been with us for years. Our new businesses coming in. So we really do focus on that. And we have an annual luncheon for all of our businesses where we invite all of the businesses of Live Oak to come together for a free lunch, do a presentation, and we do that on an annual basis.
And small businesses that might be in Live Oak who may not know about this, how can they get involved?
Good question. And we really try to get the word out, so when businesses come in like to turn on their water, we let them know about it then. But if you go onto our Live Oak Facebook page, we have all of the information listed there, and we actually have a site on there, a link on there where all of our businesses are. And if you go on there, anyone goes on there, they'll see what type of businesses we have right in our city, so they're able to see you there. So that's one way. And also in our hometown newspaper that comes out every other month to all of our residents and our businesses. All of our businesses, the only businesses that we list in that magazine are Live Oak businesses.
Nice.
Yeah, so we really try to make sure that we take care of our business owners.
And I'm going to put you on the spot like I always do with my guests.
Okay.
You mentioned you got a recent award for always being early. And I found that very awesome. And if you could just kind of share our audience what that was and touch on the importance of that good habit. Okay,
and I have to give that credit to my parents for that. My mother always said to us growing up that your word is your bond. And I kind of have to explain that because I know that's probably not a term that's like new, but just really saying that if you say something, then mean it. And if you say something, do it. And if you can't do it, then go back and let the person know. I just couldn't follow through. So in my head, I can always hear my mom saying, your word is your bond. And I used to work for a company that was an international company, and that was one of the things we would go to Fortune 500 companies and talk to them about being on time, about respecting other people's time. And so I've just tried to take that with me everywhere I go. I mean, I didn't just start it, but I've always tried to be like that most of my life, in that if I say something, I really mean it. So if you tell me 10 o'clock, I'm going to probably be in the room about 9:45 and probably have been in my car outside at 9:30.
9:15.
So, yeah, really. So everybody teases me that I'm always on time and I'm always going to the front of the room.
Yeah, because Debbie, she responded to my email and she said, so you need the mayor there at 9 o'clock? I said, no, we need her there at least by 9:50.
And she knows. And Debbie's I tell people that I may be the mayor, but Debbie goes, she's the boss. She's my boss. Does a wonderful job keeping my schedule and all of the things that she does as our city secretary.
And we have a lot of people who tune in is different backgrounds, professionals, people 9 to 5, and young people, students. What's some words of wisdom that you give to people, not just be on time, but presentation? What's some of the skills people need to just pay attention to have a successful life?
I'm glad you asked that question, and I have to go back again to my parents. And this is probably a silly one, but I hear now it's getting like some professional time, is that my dad always said to us, make your bed every morning and say your prayers every morning. And now I'm hearing people saying, that's a good thing. But with my dad, it was like, it wasn't acceptable. Your room could maybe be junky, but you had to have your bed made up. And now what I'm finding out, I'm hearing people saying that you do that in the mornings and like you've accomplished one thing already before you get out of the house.
That's true.
And so that's kind of something that we were taught growing up. Being a person of your word, again, I think very important. And something else I like to say to the youth and to really everyone is that finding your passion and not just saying I'm doing a job, but finding something that you love to do, something that you are good at, and hopefully something that will pay you well to do. So I think that if you can find that combination, you have lived your life well. And it has to always be about helping others. I think when you go outside of yourself and you're able to give to others, it gives you just a unbelievable satisfaction knowing that you've helped someone else. So maybe it may not be a big thing, but maybe helping a neighbor or making sure that maybe somebody's trash is pulled up, or just maybe little simple things like that. But I think just whatever you can do to help somebody, I think that's it makes you a better person.
And you definitely know a lot about that, being the mayor of Live Oak. I mean, what's some of the stories, or maybe one story that pops in your head of just either a citizen or a business owner or just anybody in the city who came to you and said, you know what, fill in the blank, you have done so much for this community. You have something like that?
I do, and that makes me feel really good, when people share those kind of stories with me, because, I mean, I do what I do because, for one, is that I love what I do, and the other is I know that I'm called to do this. And so, I'm good with that. But it does feel good when people come up and say, wow, you've done well, or you've done a good job. I think that one of my residents saying to me that they've lived there like for 45 years, and that they now see a really good time with the council, with the city staff, and I take no credit of that of my own, because it's a team effort. It's everyone working together, and so that makes me feel really good.
I always say this too. There's a question that pops up in the podcast. What does success mean to you personally?
Oh, what does success mean to me? I have changed my definition of success as I'm getting older. It's probably back to what I said earlier. Success to me is finding that place that you know that the reason that you are on this earth, and finding that purpose, that reason, and that thing that nobody can do but you. Other people may do something like it, but when it's just something that you're doing, and you do it the way that you do it, you bring your personality, you bring your values, you bring yourself to it. And so for me, that is what I define now as success, is that finding that place where I feel like I'm supposed to be, and doing that thing that I know that I'm supposed to be doing. To me, I've done well.
And you are definitely someone that I can tell is a person that has faith. How does faith play a role with your professional life running the city of Live Oak and as an individual?
Well, for me, my faith comes with me, and I tell people it's not something that I put on; it's who I am. And again, that's back to my parents. My mom, like, okay, everybody come in here, we're having prayer. Like, Mom, we're playing, we don't want to come pray, but she'd call us in the room, and we'd have a time of prayer, and that's something that I very much believe in. And I think that for me, the faith is not so much in a building, but it's your heart, and it's the intent of your heart. So those are the kind of things that I think about. I speak to young people a lot, and I say that your character is important. What are you doing when nobody's watching, when nobody can see what you're doing? To me, that really says who you really are. So I try to, I miss it a lot, but I'm trying to get back on the right road whenever I do. But it is my intent that I live with purpose and a good heart.
That's really good what you just said there, when no one's watching. Now, when you get up every morning and you see, I'm the mayor of Live Oak, do you ever have to pinch yourself and say, why am I chosen to do this? Or is it just so normal now and routine that you just get up and just do it? No. It's really, I don't take a day for granted that I do this. Sometimes I haven't said this out loud before, but sometimes I drive down Pat Booker Road and I see the hotel and I see everything lit up at night, and tears come to my eyes, because I was like, this is just so awesome, and I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity to be a part of all of this. So it's just amazing. Last year, when I served as the president of the Texas Municipal League, being able to travel around Texas to visit as many different cities. I didn't know there were so many cities in Texas, but again, just being able to touch people, to be able to talk to them, it's just been an amazing experience. You having the ability to touch and interact with both professionals and individuals, citizens, what advice would you give to the entrepreneur out there? Maybe not in Live Oak City, but maybe East Coast, West Coast, whatever, anywhere around the world. What's some advice that you give to them for them to go outside their comfort zone and branch out and network in their location?
Yes, it's something that I say a lot, and I always say that if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. So you have to put yourself out there. So every room you go in, you've got to meet at least 3 new people. Go out there, introduce yourself, give them your business card. So you've got to make yourself available, because what I find out is many times there are opportunities, but if you don't have yourself there available, you miss the opportunity. So therefore, you do have to get out of your comfort zone. Get away from the people that you already know. Go meet some new people. So if I get in a room, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to meet shake as many hands as I can, and give out as many business cards as I can. My mother, who owned a business there on W.W. White Road for a number of years, Flowers by Mary, learned a lot from my mom about hard work. People say a business, you got it made. You're the hardest working person in there if you are the business owner, because you've got to make sure the bathrooms are clean, that there's toilet paper in the bathrooms, that all the pens are working, that the register is working, that people that didn't come to work on time are there. So it's hard work, but if that's what you're committed to do, and that's where you feel your passion is, it may be hard and you may be tired, but you're still going to do it because it's what you love to do.
So with the dream comes a lot of responsibility.
It does. The dream, that's right. The dream is the easy part.
That's awesome.
It's the hard work that you've got to do to make that dream a reality.
And let's touch on your mom real quick. You said she was the owner of a flower shop.
Yes.
How long did she have that again?
I want to say about 17 years. Mom, if you're listening, I hope I'm right. It seemed like forever, because I worked there for about 7 years. So it was a lot of hard work, but my mother loved her customers. Every flower order that went out of our shop, it was as if she were sending it to her own mom.
Wow.
And so everything that went out of our Flowers by Mary, it was perfect. Yeah.
And from watching her, witnessing her, running her own business, what's the one thing that you took away?
The one thing that I took away from my mom was that it is hard work being the business owner, because you're the responsible person. But I saw my mom do it with grace. Sometimes she worked 14 hours a day. She'd make a pallet on the floor in the flower shop, like at Valentine's and Mother's Day. She wouldn't even go home. But she was committed to her work and to her employees and to her customers. And that's what I saw, and that's what I took from my mom.
Any events coming up in the near future you want to make sure you get the word out, or?
Well, one of the things is I want everybody to get ready for the IKEA opening.
Get ready.
That's right, as Bishop Jake said, get ready. But we're very excited about that, of course. And if you'll go to the Live Oak Facebook page, we've got all of our events listed there, and please like us there, and you'll be able to see what we've got coming up.
Awesome. And you're not on social media, are you?
I'm not, but my mother is. So my mother keeps me informed. So Mom, I hope you're out there. I'm sure she is.
Your daughter is on, and she said her drive is in her DNA. She doesn't think about it. She just embodies it with an exclamation mark.
Oh, thank you, Mommy.
That's from Chris Dennis.
Oh, thank you, Christina. My baby. She's my biggest fan. Is my daughter. She's the president of my fan club. Only one person in it, but she's my baby, and I appreciate her very much. And I'm so very proud of her. Very proud of the work that she's done. That she's found her passion and her purpose, and she's living it out right now. And I'm very proud of that.
And just wrapping things up, you mentioned passion and purpose multiple times through the podcast. What's one thing that you say lastly to the individual who might feel like they're stuck? What's one thing you can say to release that person?
Well, I would say, and being stuck is not a bad thing, because while you're stuck, you can be thinking. And I think that that's something that we all go through. But the thing is that I had a wonderful mother-in-law, and she would say to me many times, she says, baby, it's really nice when you have people encouraging you and saying you're doing good. She said, but you've got to learn to encourage yourself. And that's something that I've taken with me in my life, is that sometimes you've got to encourage yourself. You've got to find the strength within yourself. And I'm really big on everybody being responsible for themselves. We shouldn't blame the government. We can't blame our parents. We can't blame our past. We can't blame where we came from. You have to find the strength within yourself to be able to say, this is who I am, this is what I want, I'm going to work hard to make it happen. So take responsibility for yourself, for your actions, and make good come from your life.
And that all ties into also leading. So touch on leadership. How can one grow into that position to have the ability to lead others and themselves?
Right. Because to me, what a true leader is someone who inspires those around them to be the best that they can be. And that's my leadership style, in that I consider myself a servant leader. So I'm not sitting around watching people do things. I am out front leading the charge. If it's at an event, picking up trash or doing whatever needs to be done. So I try to lead by serving, and I try to be out front doing whatever everybody else is doing. I don't feel like a prima donna. I often say to people that it's amazing to me how we look at servanthood. A lot of people look at it as a negative thing or a bad thing. But the greatest servant of all said of his own self, I came to serve, not to be served. Mm-hmm. And that's what Jesus says of himself. I came to serve. Mm-hmm. So I don't see where we get off thinking that people are supposed to be waiting on us and doing this and that for us. So I think that to me, a leader is somebody, again, who inspires those around them to be the very best that they can be. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's how you lead.
So, in other words, too, just get out there.
Just get up and get out there and get to work.
Do something.
Every day, every day.
Do something that is productive and that's going to make you better than you were yesterday.
Exactly. As the old folks say, let me leave this place better than I found it.
Mm-hmm. It almost triggered a thought when you first said how your dad was saying to make up your bed in the morning, so that's at least one thing you accomplished.
That's right. You've got one thing done already. That means I can do something else.
And that is important, because once you get out of your comfort zone, you're almost building these new roads.
Right, exactly.
In these networks. How have you seen businesses just grow because they came out of their comfort zone? They started to go to meetings and they started to network. How have you witnessed that in the city of Live Oak?
Well, that's really a good point. I think that I've seen it so many times, even with my own mother. My mother never made a flower arrangement in her life, but she stopped at a flower shop one day to say hi to a friend.
Wow.
And so she just kind of was watching the person make a casket spray. And so she just kind of started, helping him out. And he even said, I've never seen anyone just catch on so quickly. Well, that was her first business venture, was with that other florist. Mm-hmm. And then later Mrs. Lunell Sutton, who at the time was the owner of Sutton Mortuary, said, I'm going to build a new building. I'm going to build a flower shop in there. Would you come and run it? And so that's how my mom got started. And then we outgrew that space, and then we later moved to the location on WW White Road. And so, again, I have to credit my mother with just her energy, just her undying faith that nothing's too hard. With my mother, we would call her, says, Mom, I have a headache. She's like, well, drink some water, So it was just no excuses. And I'm just not a person who just can accept an excuse. Just if one plan doesn't work, go with the next one. I used to work for a gentleman, Mr. Artie Wooder at Sutton Funeral Home. He says, you are the only person I know come to the table with an A, B, and C plan. I said, yes, sir, because I'm going to make it work some kind of way.
See, I like what you're saying, because too is bringing a thought to mind. When you give of yourself, the best part of you, each and every day, then all these great opportunities start coming your way, and more that you get on your plate, the more responsibility you receive, and you are definitely showing that being the mayor of Live Oak City.
And I love what I do. I don't feel busy or overwhelmed. I look at my schedule, I guess it looks busy, but I don't feel busy. It's really weird. I don't know.
You're enjoying what you're doing.
I guess so. I really am.
It's your passion and your purpose, and that happens once you get in the right lane.
That's right. Find where you're supposed to be and make it happen.
So in closing, what's one last thing you'd like to say to our audience, listening audience?
Well, I just first want to thank you all again so very much for this opportunity to be able to share and talk. And I was really looking forward to this, and I appreciate you all being so nice to me down through the years, featuring me, in your magazine and having me here today. I just would like to say in closing that I certainly am very blessed, but a lot of people, a lot of a good support system, and I appreciate the people that have helped me get to this place. And for my grandmother, both of my grandmothers had two beautiful grandmothers, from my mother-in-law, from my mom, from my daughter, from my family, and all those, so many people. Gloria Ray comes to my mind, a wonderful lady here in San Antonio. I always tell her that I learned how to run a meeting from her. She used to be over the Martin Luther King Commission, and she would run such a smooth, I would just look at her in awe. But so many people that support me and have helped me get to this point. So it does take a village to raise a child, and you don't stop learning. Try to learn something. That's another thing my dad would say every day is try to learn something new every day. So I try to always make that happen every day for me too.
Well, you guys, you want to play this episode maybe twice, just so you can take some notes on all the golden gems that you just got from this mayor, Live Oak, Mary Dennis.
Yes.
So before closing, how can they reach out and get involved in Live Oak City once again?
Okay, well, you can certainly go to our Facebook page again, and all of our contact information is on there. And if there's any way I can help or be of service, please let me know.
Well, once again, guys, I have to close this with a big shout out to our official partner that's been down since number one, since day one. Mr. Rico Rodriguez, the owner of Rockefeller's Barbershop, the hottest barbershop in San Antonio. So if you fly in or if you're already here in the city, make sure you go visit our friend Rico Rodriguez. And also to our sponsors, River City Donuts, Miss Kim, thank you so much. And Baby McClinton of allsportsfitness.net. So if you try and get in shape, fitness, get ready for the NFL or NBA, make sure you check out him and his website because he has some great clients. And just keep showing love. And like Mayor Mary Dennis has been saying this podcast, find your passion, find your purpose. And like I always close the podcast, keep God first, God bless, and peace.